And we will actually talk about JD Vance being one of the most rizzless individuals on the entire planet. Now, I recognize that I have said that I am terrified, in general, of a presidency that involves JD Vance, and that is still true. That is why we have to make fun of him. It softens the blow, I promise you. But before we get into that, we need to get into the fan art section because we have plenty more fan art that is indicative of the costume contest going on right now. This one is from Teleladar, or Tal. It said Cowgirl Suris, which was drawn by Stoff. It looks like it was a commission that was drawn by Stoff. So, you know what? It wouldn't be the first time that Stoff has designed an outfit for the channel, and it probably wouldn't end up being the last time. Come to think of it, actually. Hold on. Slime Girl Suris was made by Suzu. The original design for the outfit was finalized by Remixin. Remixin also did the fall outfit. Stoff did the other outfit, the witch outfit. The maid outfit was also Suzu, and then the Virgin Killer sweater was Salem, and then this outfit, this one right here, was designed by Bonbon. Guys, I'm beginning to think that my character is just an amalgamation of a whole bunch of other artists' interpretation of me. You know, that's actually probably true. That's actually probably 100% true. Anyway, Tail, thank you very much for dropping this commission. I appreciate it a ton. And you know what? They have two back-to-back, so let's go ahead and put this one here as well. Multiple slimes in a trench coat. Suris, Sissus, and Ruis together in a trench coat. That is also an option people want to have. Dark Warrior Son has just gifted 10 community subs. Holy fucking shit. Damn it, Jessica, no, do not say subbies. Not after people keep calling me daddy in chat and making me visibly uncomfortable. You don't say subbies after that. No. It's like saying uppies afterwards. None of that. None of that. Defana says, I was watching a leftist go over third world problems only for me to feel like they were getting into borderline privilege colonialism. You know, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know who you're... Artemis says, I love being Suris' sub. I'm done. Nope, I'm done. I'm done. We're moving on to JD Vance. This is getting weird. This is getting weird. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. I've learned how to speak very fast because of this area right now. Oh boy, Deltoid, it's you again. This is like the 5th time you've been here. Why are you in politics? Oh, hi, how you doing? Welcome back. It's like the 15th time you've been here. I said like 3rd or 4th before. I lied. Deltoid says, what do you mean again? Deltoid, you have been here multiple times. You have been here multiple times. I can look at your chat history. There are 66 messages there. There are 4 mod actions, 2 mod comments on you. I know exactly who you are. You are not new. You are not new at all. Anyway, JD Vance, let's go ahead and take a look at what you got to say here. Deltoid says, that's crazy. I don't even remember you. Oh, the dementia is already setting in. Oh, that's so bad, little guy. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's continue.
Today's special reader is...
Story time with the second lady. Man, this feels awfully corporate.
Hello, I'm Usha Vance, and welcome back to Storytime with the Second Lady. I'm so excited to enjoy another great story together, because...
Why do you sound like a robot? Why do you sound like a robot, ma'am? I don't get it.
When we read, we grow. I know from personal experience that today's special reader loves to read to kids. That's because I see him read books to our own kids every day. That's right. Today's special reader is my husband.
Why does he look so robotic? Hold on, no. Hold on, no.
See him read books to our own kids every day. That's right. Today's...
What is this face? What is that face right there? This is a face of pain. Hold on. I need to just take this. I need to post it real quick to KFox so I have access to it so I can show you exactly what this looks like to me close up real quick. This is the face of pain. This is a face of pain. I'm sorry. Little Leapy Girl says she reads her script like my 3rd grade sci teacher. Yeah. Yeah. Mom, the lizard people are here. Deltoid says, you pose as a woman. How can you criticize what someone looks like? Ah, cool. You just did the 2 quote quay fallacy. I don't have to give 2 fucks about that one. Anyway. All right, let's go. Let's continue.
Special reader is my husband, Vice President of the United States, JD Vance. Thanks for joining us today, honey.
Of course. Good to see you.
Heliox Flame, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits. Deltoid says, so by default, you look worse. Oh, yeah, no, I'm an ugly motherfucker. You aren't telling me anything new. What, do you think you're going to be able to get under my skin better than I can in the mirror every morning? Try harder. Anyway.
So I know some of the kids who are watching today probably don't know very much about what the vice president does.
Well, lies about eating animals. That's one thing he does.
Can you tell them a little bit about it?
I'm lucky enough to serve under a president who gives me a lot of responsibility. So there are a lot of things that we do. And, one of the things that I have to do is in our country, of course, we have senators and congressmen and women who vote on laws. Well, if there's a 50-50 tie in the Senate, then I have to break the tie. But then I also have some roles in the diplomacy that we do. And so I'll go to other countries.
Heliox Flame, thank you for the 300 bits. I appreciate it. Also, Heliox said earlier, like, oh, wasn't fast enough. Wasn't fast enough for what? Huh? I'm confused. Kazui says, whatever you do, JD, don't tell the kids what you do to couches. Heliox, thank you. Oh, too slow for the hype train, I guess. Thank you for the 100 bits as well. Getting us to level 4 on the hype train? Neat, I'll take it.
Sometimes with you, of course, and sometimes we even take our kids to meet with foreign leaders and people who, maybe they have a disagreement with the United States, or maybe we have a disagreement with them. And so we talk about how to resolve those disagreements. And that's a really important thing that we do.
So you're also a big...
He sounds so unenthused about it. Like, this is a guy who is bidding to become the president of the United States, either when Donald Trump dies of McDonald's overdose, or when he's able to run for office in 2028. This is a guy who desperately wants that power because he wants to give more power to the Peter Thiels of the world, right? So why does he sound AI generated himself? I'm sorry. And look, I say that, but he's like ChatGPT AI generated, which is very different from like GLM AI generated. Said McDonald's overdose is not a real thing. The obesity epidemic in America would like to disagree with you, as does the entire field of cardiology. Anywho.
Big reader. These days, it's mostly kids' books, right?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
How many books a day do you think you read to our kids?
Well, it depends on whether our kids are in a reading mood or not, as you know. So right now we have 3 kids. Obviously, we have...
Deltoid says obesity is a caloric surplus. A surplus problem, not a McDonald's problem. Read a book.
A 4th on the way, which we're very excited about. But so our 8-year-old likes to read his own stories to himself. And I think our 6-year-old sometimes wants me to read to him, but he's kind of at an age where he likes to read a lot to himself as well. And then our 4-year-old baby girl, she is the big reader, meaning she's the one who always wants me to read her books. So this morning, I think I only read 1 book to Mirabelle. But normally it's 2 or 3 stories in the morning and then some stories in the evening as well. She really likes to reread her favorite stories. And my view is that once I've read a story...
Oh, Jesus Christ, Espen, thank you for the 10 community subs. Why are you guys gifting so many community subs right now? Jesus Christ. What? Huh? That's insane. Also, Deltoid is trying to push this. Guys, don't feed the troll, but also, just real quick, I just want to go ahead and say, for a second, you can actually just read a study showing that having quick and easy psychological access to cheap and fast calorically dense food is, in fact, a leading cause of the obesity epidemic in the United States. And as that is a leading cause of the obesity epidemic in the United States, it is, in fact, a McDonald's problem, as much as it is a caloric problem, because McDonald's is also responsible for the caloric density of their food. Man, it's almost like we didn't have that weird 3,000 calorie milkshake that came out of Dairy Queen or Baskin Robbins like 5 years ago, and then they were able to get it down to like 1,300 calories and taste the fucking same. Weird. Said, no, that's like saying it's a cucumber problem. Boy, howdy, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm not engaging with you anymore. You're actually a fucking moron. Jesus Christ. Anyways, I love binary thinking. It's really funny until it gets really boring.
For that day, I don't want to read it again. or else it gets very
Giliox, thank you for the 100 bit or
So
300
I will
bits.
always be trying to read new books, and Mira will always be trying to get me to read the same exact story again and again and again.
Jessica Davis, Super Size Me is not a good example. Super Size Me was not done with any actual controls, and the dude actually changed more parts of his lifestyle about, in like around McDonald's specifically. So Super Size Me is just not a good example. I'm sorry.
Now Mira's reading stories to you. Are you feeling a little bit sad about that?
I am. So you, of course, are very into teaching our kids how to read, which is very cool, and I'm very excited about. But the downside of it is that the more advanced they get, the less that they want mom and dad to read to them.
Well, luckily there's going to be a new baby for you to read to. So
Right.
you have many more years ahead of you, right?
That's right. That's right. That's why I so desperately wanted to have a fourth baby, is because I was sick of my kids growing up, and I was not yet ready to be out of the baby phase. So here we are, about to jump right in and just...
So, like, as he talks, he's starting to sound less mechanical. And that's actually, like, it doesn't endear me towards him, but I am happy that he's sounding less like a robot the more time goes on. Progress has breedable comments or yikes. What? Did I miss something?
a few short weeks.
So you know we have a lot of stuffed animals in our house. Ruh-roh, Liony, Red-tailed Hawk, Fred Michael Jordan. The list goes on, right?
That's right.
Did you have a favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, so when I was a kid, I remember I had a Care Bear.
Well, today's story that you're going to tell us is about a little boy and his favorite stuffed animal.
Okay, so this is what's the best way to put this? His wife sounds too rehearsed. She sounds way too scripted, like to an uncomfortable degree. And he sounds way too stiff. He sounds like he's a deer in the headlights who's like slowly learning humanity. And she sounds not like a robot, but like the call center. It's call center voice. That's what it is. It's call center voice. You know how when you call somebody at a call center and there's one or two voices they have, it's either the really like downtrodden, I'm tired of my day voice, or it's the scripted, hello, how are you doing today? That one is, you know that? Oh boy. I said more and more we learn that Haley and Joel Osment skit was dead on. Matt says she's not well rehearsed. Yeah, it feels kind of forced.
That's right. So this is a story about Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. And what I really like about Winnie the Pooh is
I like how we can at least do the Christopher Robin Winnie the Pooh thing because Disney no longer has explicit rights over Winnie the Pooh. We can make murder stories about it now.
I see our kids all the time play with stuffed animals, and in their imagination, the stuffed animals have their own lives. And it's about the adventures these stuffed animals have with each other and with their owner, Christopher Robin. And this book actually, it can be a little confusing.
I'm just curious. Everybody in chat, why are you still feeding the troll? What do you gain from that? You know he's wrong. What's the benefit of just constantly feeding them? What do you gain from that? Like, we have data showing that their points are dumb. Why do we need anything other than that? Said because it annoys you. It does annoy me. That is true. You know what? Continue on, I guess.
Because at the very beginning, it's about Christopher Robin's dad explaining to Christopher Robin what's going on.
Jessica said, so because the prick is a loser. Right. So Jessica, why would you give him what he wants? What do you gain from that? Said it's fun to bully the bullies, but you're not bullying them. You're literally giving them what they want. That's not bullying. That's giving people what they want. Why? Oh my God. There's so much. Is it autism? Is that what's going on in my chat? I think it's that. Definia says, what are your thoughts on Marxism? You're gonna have to be a little more fucking specific than that. Are we talking about Marxism like the lens for viewing the economy through, the lens for viewing literature through? Are we talking about the writing specifically of Karl Marx? Are we talking about Marxist-Leninism? Are we like what are we talking about? I'm sorry, but that phrase means nothing. Marxism is so many things, from lenses to view the world's, lenses to view data, conversations about different stories, different things about class consciousness and class conflict. I can't give you an honest answer on that other than I am a socialist. Read into that what you will. But, like, you're gonna have to be a little more specific on the Marxism thing. I'm sorry.
And then there's a story within the story, which is about the adventure that Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh have as Winnie the Pooh tries to go out.
Deltoid says, what kind of socialist are you? The kind that thinks workers should own the means of production, which technically means I'm closer to a syndicalist than anything else. Neato.
After honey, which he loves. Now, because as you get older, your eyesight goes a little bad, so I will need my reading glasses to read the story because it is printed on unusually small print. Winnie the Pooh, Chapter 1.
Infinity says, I don't fully know. It was a political theory that many of my trans friends recently started sending me links about Marxist theory to in order to help me become more educated. Okay. Neat. Go read Kropotkin now, I guess. Have fun? Like, yeah, you could read Capital and then Kropotkin, I guess. And I mean, there's more contemporary shit you could read too. Like, I'm sorry, but there is one thing that does bother me about, like, the hey guys, read theory bros, is that we have contemporary writers who have built on those ideas, and we keep on going back to Capital. And it's not like the Marxist writings are bad. It's that there's other things we can read too. Like, hold on. I'm gonna just real quick. There's a really good one that I read a few years back, and let me see if I can find it in my library. Okay, found the book. So just, if you want something helpful right now that's contemporary, go read Joseph A. Schumpeter's Capitalism, Socialism, and Democracy. Like, again, I understand it's fantastic to have access to Marx's works, and they are great, but there are also contemporary writers we should be reading right now if we're going to be doing the whole, like, theory thing. Also, Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States, but that's for different reasons. I'd read both of those. They were both good reads. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. And if you haven't checked out the secondary channel, then please go check that out as well. I also have a channel called Third Space Arcade, where we're talking video games and all kinds of stuff with a ton of other progressive content creators. And if you want to catch me live, I am on Twitch at Suris and over on YouTube at Suris Live if you are a vertical viewer. And if card games are more your thing, then please check out Suris MTG, where I talk about Magic the Gathering and Riftbound. And more than anything, thank you for tolerating this little ad in the middle of this. It means the world to me.
Which we are introduced to Winnie the Pooh and some bees, and the stories begin. Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now, bump, 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 on the back of his head behind Christopher Robin.
Why do you, if you read, what? JD Vance, why do you sound like a robot when you read? Why do you sound like a robot when you read? Am I going to have to go grab this fucking Winnie the Pooh book and read it like an actual adult? Or, like, are we just doing it? Because, like, okay, you know when you were in school and you were asked to, like, read the next passage in the book as a class? That right here, that's what this sounds like right here. It's deer in the headlights reading.
It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs. But sometimes he feels that there really is another way, if only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. And then he feels that perhaps there isn't. Anyhow, here he is, the bottom, and ready to be introduced to you, Winnie the Pooh.
It's audiobook voice. I wouldn't even say it's audiobook voice. Because, like, okay, no. I'm gonna violate copyright real quick for just a minute. I'm gonna go to Audible, and when you say audiobook voice, I'm gonna hit you with what I think when I hear audiobook voice. And I'm sorry, I think we individually think of very different things when we think of audiobook voice. You said you think of David Tennant? That's entirely fair. Let me see here. Where is... That's Jim Butcher stuff. Oh, god damn it. So, like, this is a snippet from the Star Wars book Rule of Two. And I'm sorry, but when I think audiobook, I think of this.
The terrifying image Bane projected contrasted sharply with the small figure that followed in his wake, struggling to keep up. Xana was only 10, a waif of a girl with short, curly blonde hair. Her clothing was simple and plain to the point of being rustic.
So, like, Is it as exciting as it could be? No, it's not, but it sounds engaging. It doesn't sound like a robot. It is nice to listen to. JD Vance is not nice to listen to. Also, just real quick, just as a final thing on the caloric conversation, I love that we've completely ignored the fact that there are mental things that can cause people to gain weight, and there are physicality issues that can cause people to gain weight that have nothing to do with calorie in, calorie out as the only option.
Sometimes Winnie the Pooh likes a game of some sort when he comes downstairs, and sometimes he likes to sit quietly in front of...
A game of some sort? No. The emphasis should be on game in there. Winnie the Pooh likes to play a game of some sort. Because the part that matters in that sentence, JD, is not the fact that there are myriad options. The part that matters is that Winnie the Pooh wants to play a game. So the sentence, when you do it, you have to put emphasis on the game word, because that is the one that matters here. That is the noun we give a shit about.
The fire and listen to a story. This evening, what about a story? Said Christopher Robin. What about a story? I said. Could you very sweetly tell Winnie the Pooh one? I suppose I could, I said. What sort of stories does he like? About himself, because he's that sort of bear. Oh, I see. So could you very...
Why did that sound like a run-on sentence? That was two separate characters talking. Why was that a run-on sentence? Why am I criticizing the vice president on his inability to read compelling stories? Oh, right, because K Fox sent this to me, and I feel like I owe her everything sometimes, so... Said, is he telling a story about telling a story? He's reading Winnie the Pooh!
Sweetly, I'll try, I said. So I tried. Once upon a time, a very long time ago now, about last Friday, Winnie the Pooh lived in a forest all by himself under the name of Sanders.
You know what's funny? Just because the fucking calorie conversation is still happening in the chat. You know what's cool? If two people gain 1,000 calories at the same time, but one of them has an underactive thyroid and the other one doesn't, the one with the underactive thyroid is going to actively burn fewer of those calories, even if they are engaging in the exact same activities, even if they are doing the exact same things. Because the underactive thyroid slows the metabolism, which causes your body to go into caloric retention. Deltoid says, that's like saying a smaller person can't eat as much as a taller person. It still follows the laws. Deltoid, you don't know how to argue at all. Like, you don't know how to bring a source to anything. You just know how to say the same thing over and over again. Congratulations, you can say the words, the laws of thermodynamics. Who gives a flying shit? Ravi says, as we talk about... Oh, I love that I can't read that. Thanks, Twitch. That's great. As we talk about the Rizzless one, mayhaps we can see who Vance's arch nemesis is. What is... Okay, it's an Instagram post, but I will read it. I will look at the Instagram post and see who's JD Vance's arch nemesis. In political circles, Vice President JD Vance primary political opponent is Kamala Harris. However, in internet culture, his self-proclaimed satirical art nemesis is Cats on a Couch, a viral social media campaign created by progressive activist Amanda McGonigal. So, his arch nemesis is the cats that cucked him by sitting on the couch? Okay. Deltsoy says the only way that you're burning 1,000 calories in a day is if you walk a marathon. Do you know what BMR is? Do you know what, like, a resting caloric, like, thing is? Also, you can swim and burn, like, 600 to 700 calories an hour. You don't need to walk a fucking marathon. What? Okay, anyway. I am so happy that people are so confidently wrong. Deltoid also says, by the way, overweight people have higher metabolisms. No, that's not how that works at all. Okay, no, we're done. I'm done arguing with you. I'm just putting you in timeout. Because I'm getting distracted now.
What does under the name mean? Asked Christopher Robin. It means he had the name over the door in gold letters and lived under it. Winnie the Pooh wasn't quite sure, said Christopher Robin. Now I am, said a growly voice. Then I will go on, said I. One day when he was out walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest. And in the middle of
the way his wife is looking at him as he's reading feels like she is forcing this on him. Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like if Saki looked at me like that, I would be a little more scared than anything. Japazio says 1 hour on the treadmill at level 10 is 1,000 calories. Not quite, and it depends on what level 10 means to you, because, like, so, like, at my gym, there's treadmills that have levels from 1 to 20, and then there's also a treadmill that has a different level system entirely. And the one that has level 10, if I am on there for 30 minutes, I probably burn about 350-ish calories at level 10, but about 580 at level 20, which means, of course, at an hour, I would be burning closer to 1,000 at that point. I keep wondering why they keep using those stupidly short pants. Jesus. Oh, my God. My God. Defini says, Discord is cancer. Fluxer is a lot more cool and a lot friendlier to the trans community. Okay, no, we're not doing that. I say we're not doing that because, like, Discord as an apparatus isn't friendly or unfriendly towards the trans community. It's a program with individual servers where the individual server owners are the ones who are or are not good towards the trans community. What? What? No. This is like my trans friends gave me the Marxism thing. Like, your friends being trans has nothing to do with Marxism. I promise you. In 12 billion languages, I promise you.
He came to an open place in the middle of the forest. And in the middle of this place was a large oak tree. And from the top of the tree, there came a loud buzzing noise. Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree, put his head between his paws, and began to think. First of all, he said to himself, that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing, without its meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing.
Yeah, they're adding the bee noises to it.
Buzzing noise. And the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee. Then he thought another long time and said, and the only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey. And then he got up and said, and the only reason for making honey is so as I can eat it. So he began to climb the tree. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed. And as he climbed...
I said, why are we shifting camera angles like an ADHD toddler? Guess we have to now. I guess the reason I do it.
He sang a little song to himself. It went like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Why am I getting a call? I'm gonna murder people. Nope, we're not doing this anymore. I am done having my phone on anything other than vibrate. Every time I try to do anything, it is either the cat meows or the dog barks or the phone does its thing. I'm done. I'm done. None of that. None of that. I would like to want to murder fewer people, and the way to do that is for fewer people to get in my way. Jesus Christ.
I wonder why he does. Then he climbed a little further and a little further, and then just a little further. By that time, he had thought of another song. It's a very funny thought that if bears were bees, they'd build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that...
Why do you have songs from characters? Like, you admit that they are songs. You say it, but you're not actually reading them as songs. You're just saying it. Like Robot. I can't. No. No, I understand why his wife looks at him with contempt now. I can't. There's nothing. There's nothing here for me. There's nothing here for any of us. Not even a little bit. JD Vance is a rizzless motherfucker. And I refuse to listen to it anymore. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.